there's this little area here where you can access the grain tank. And then what my dad is holding is a moisture tester. 9.8 moisture, so we're good to go.
Yep. We are okay. See? So you need to be close to this. Not as close as I was. But these are all going to be stock dumps with her, Brad, in the field. It's just too close that you have to run this enough.
Yeah, I saw that was pretty tight.
Yeah, well, you ought to see the 40 foot on that thing. Not liking this. Down. Check both sides after you do it. Check ahead. Check your sides. Non-stop.
Car will be there in just a sec. Dave has the auger bolted up, so we'll have to run it with them bolted up.
You're cutting more wheat with your 9610 than you are with this. Close is in the road, isn't it? Look ahead to help keep you straight so you don't chase back and forth. Okay, button 2 and see what happens. Now put your hand on the far right knob. Look at you, both sides of your head. Back a little bit out. This is where you see if anything's working. That little cylinder down there. See it? Where it connects the two wheels. It's straight up and down. It's a little brass silver cylinder. Okay, you're looking good. Now that might be working if you haven't touched the button. Once you touch the button, the flow quits. If there is flow. Not that this combine couldn't cut
Is that
this.
a thing with the combine mark, or is that a thing with the header?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I have to read the book. I have to talk to Josh, find out where it's at. Hit it, tap it with a screwdriver or something. It says the solenoid valve's not responding or something.
You don't think that other combine would work on it?
That was my question.
No, none of this stuff would run because it ain't got the right wiring for it.
Watch that pole on the approach, Brad.
Oh, because the other header, it's not wired to go with that combine, but this one is.
I had to change, to run that 40 foot on this, I had to put a different wiring on. It would run this header, but this one wouldn't run the 40. And I had this header on. No, that's just too big a header for it.
But this header would work on the 9670, and then the other header could go on this.
Yeah, it could, but I don't even think about it. Okay, now start looking around.
Follow that combine around, Brad, until she gets full. Okay.
No, we'll be coming back. It doesn't need to follow us. Just have him wait over there. Okay, now your header's really low here and high over there. Tap button 2 and see where it gets you. Don't hold it, tap.
I didn't.
Okay.
I don't feel like it changed anything.
Yeah, but you don't know. Now reach over and dial that button up one click. And look at that cylinder. Did it come up? It did, I think. Actually, or it went down. This is floating good now. Look at both sides. You're about, it's better than it was. So now back it off one more click. No, yeah. You don't have to hit it unless you touch the thing. And then look at it, because we don't know they're working. We'll just take the same path back as we took before.
Down the coulee.
Down this side of it.
So I make a turn out to the left.
Yeah, and then come back in. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm feeling something like the bottom of the header was scraping, but maybe it ain't. Okay, when you get close to the end, start a soft turn out.
Yeah.
Don't do it yet, because this is the side of the coulee.
Right.
Now start it. Turn. So this edge just runs right up the edge here. Turn. Slow down. Header's on the ground there because you're on the other side of the coulee. And that probably means you're way high cutting in the center. Now you're running your float wheels in the coulee way on this side of it. Lift it up. Go out a little bit. You couldn't even fit back in the cut there. Okay?
Well, I was going to turn the other way.
You would have ran into that. Use this edge down in the cooler. So this edge probably ain't going to be cutting up. Don't wait till you get there and start dropping this head. Drop it while you can see it. Okay, you need to get over here with this edge of this. If I cut it down, you got to use the edge, not the wheels. Slow down. You're going way too fast. Drop your header a little bit. Now start checking behind you. Then you got to look over here when you can see it. Okay, you can feel your combine drop on the right. You're in kind of a multi-thing happening. Okay, this is good here. So hear the rotor stumble? Feel it?
Yep.
Okay, spring wheat's hard, Kate, and it's very deceiving. You know, this is good spring wheat here. Getting 23. It's okay to leave a little header out. You can see what your cutter bar is. You know what I mean? So now this is your low side. You see, we're doing this. Drift into this. Okay, you know this is getting thick here. I don't feel it in the machine, but we know. Better watch your overthrow.
I know, that's why I'm paying attention.
Why don't you let me have this just for a second, Kate, so I can cut this pulley out. Okay, now I'm starting to work this header here. Okay, I dropped it down a little bit. Slowing this thing down, I'm looking at my wheel. You mean that plate for the auger?
Yeah, I thought I saw one on the bench.
Well, there is one on the bench. I thought there was one in my combine, but maybe it got taken out and put on the bench. I don't know.
No, I think this was a brand new one in the back.
Well, I know, but both of them are brand new. Look in here, Kate. See if there's
Yeah,
a...
What am I looking for?
It's a green round plate about this big.
I feel like I remember seeing exactly what you were talking about too.
I like to use a little bit of clean header, like over here, to see what's going on. If this were me, I'd probably be running this mostly 99% off this button. But once in a while, the floats will work better if you press button 2, dial them around a little bit. But the thing is, Kate, is you're on your button all the time here.
This is thick.
I know it is. It's the way it should be. What you want, looking for, is a nice clean cut. You're not looking for speed. You're not looking for anything else. But you can't get your header down till you get on one side of this coolie. There is no kind of in-between on this stuff. And, you know, we're riding on the ground. I can feel it. Over here, the wheat's standing up nice, so it's cleaning. You know what I mean? Down here, it's not looking very good. All this is time, Kate. And when you run a new header, it's all over you until you run it enough to be you and the header to become one. So what I might do, Kate, is being how we got this kind of little piece cut out, maybe I'll let you work on this thing. When you get done with this, come back and get me. I'll cut these other coolies out, you know, the ones that are really bad.
Yes.
Think about your header, because this is really hard to do. And it's changing, it's dynamic, it's not working, it is working. But this, I like this. I can see where that's at. You see what I mean? So I'm not chasing this hole. I'm just bringing it to the edge of the header.
To make it straight.
Right. And I'm not going to chase this hole either. But when I change this, if I'm looking here and change anything, I go right here. And there's 3 or 4 different little coolies. There's a coolie there. How is this going to work out with my header? The side's going to be a little uphill, but it's not real bad. You know what I mean? Normally in normal wheat, this would be fine. So I'm running it right to the edge. Now I'm going to run right to the other edge. But I might overcut this. Remember what I said about the high side of the header not cutting it?
Yeah.
So maybe I'll leave 6-10 feet out here to cut that side. And you're going to have the same problem when these hills round out everywhere. You might have to just run that kind of header stuff over. And now look what it's doing here. Look. So you're going to have to do the same thing next time, because the floats are not working. Push that and see if it'll go lower this, but it's not. But if you can get your header to float on this knob, that helps out. Okay, and your passes through here are pretty much head on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you just float the header through. Okay, now this thing's just dead on this side. These ought to be leveling itself out, even if this don't have contour. The thing about this is, go slow. You know what? Don't pick any rocks for me in these roads. And the button thing is all in its own deal, you know? Yeah, and I just tapped it down once, and the header kept going down. And I don't know. Uh-oh.
You did that a bit back there too?
Yeah, because I was trying to avoid them sticks. Don't run sticks.
No, I'm not saying on this last pass. I'm saying on this pass we are doing now.
Oh, and you can't back up with these little wheels down. Very good. See, this is telling us there's something going on with the left sensor. So if I knew what made it work, but you can go in here and it'll give you voltages. These working like 1.5 volts. That's like a battery size. It should be 12 volts. And anytime you change that, check. Because you don't know. Sometimes them wheels are putting weird pressure on them. Then go back here and recheck there to make sure you're not scooping the dirt. No way to understand any of this until you do it. Go over here.
I'm not missing it.
You are missing I normally go for 2 clicks, Kate. When I do it, I'm looking at that thing. If it's down, I want to see that thing go down. If it's up, I want to see that cylinder come out. Okay, now look what we're doing on this cut. Dial it up. Couple clicks. Okay, make sure you got it on flow. Turn it up some.
I think
okay, there it comes.
I can't see.
See it come up? It takes a long time for this to happen. Okay, when we get up to the edge of that, you're just cutting straight across to the next cut.
Right.
And this header has a single float canister on it. They said these single float canister headers don't work as good. Okay, look what you're leaving here.
I'm taking my first round this year by myself in the big header. This field has a lot of coulee. Wow, I'm a bit nervous, but I know I can do it. Lift my header up, make sure the wheels come off the ground. I have 2 small wheels on either side of my header, and if I back up or turn with them, I could potentially break them off. Set my header back down. So our grain cart is not working still. It had 2 bearings go out, but we are borrowing our neighbor's grain cart. It's actually the same kind of grain cart, and that's kind of how my dad decided to purchase the one we have. You can't see the height in which you're cutting by looking forward. You have to look on either side of your combine. I'm going 2.4 miles an hour right now, just trying to watch everything, talk myself through it, make sure I'm not making any mistakes, because this is our only combine that's able to go right now. We have 2 straight cutting headers, and one of them is not working on our other combine. It's really lopsided, so it's critical that I keep this running. Everything's going smoothly right now. I feel comfortable with all the buttons in the combine. Really glad that I got to run this combine with pickup header first, because I was able to become familiar with everything that's different about it than my 9610. And I'm pretty comfortable with the combine, so now I just have to focus on running this header. I'm watching my return auger, which it's looking good. The wheat was getting a little thicker here, so I just slowed down a bit. My return auger was maxed out also. Now I'm making my first corner by myself this year with the straight cutting header. Drop my header to the ground, go into the wheat, and then my goal is to just try and keep everything working properly. Dad and Uncle Chris are working on the other combine to try and get the header back to normal. I have a coulee coming up. This is one that's straight on, so I'm able to cut through it, but I definitely am going to watch out.
Doing okay, Kate?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thank you. My dad's probably a little bit worried because this field has a lot of challenging parts to it and coulees, but I am in my 3rd year combining, so he's letting me loose on it and hoping for the best probably. He also trusts that I'm going to be able to do a good job, and if something goes wrong, I'll be able to think through it. It's crazy because I am the only combine in the field right now, and that has happened so many times this harvest. This combine has treated me so well, and I've tried to treat it really well too. I pay a lot of attention and listen to the combine to make sure there's nothing going wrong. I just really try and keep them running and do the best I can. There's a lot of wheat laying over on the left side of my header, and I just can't cut much lower than that. I'll have to pick it up on the next round. Oh, this power line, ooh. These are really low power lines. Oh my gosh, I don't even know that I don't even know that I clear this. If I clear it, it's just barely scary. Oh my gosh. I cleared that by like an inch. I don't even think I will clear it up here. It looks like the other combine is in the field, so they might have gotten the header working on it.
You're going to need to be real careful with that on your next pass, Kate. You're pretty close.
I think I brushed it. I think I was about an inch away from it.
Yeah, you were pretty close. And it looks like it might be a little bit lower on your next pass, so be real careful.
Well, it's higher on the hill too. I don't know that I'm going to clear this power line. Do you think I'm going to clear this?
If I say stop, stop immediately, okay? I don't think you're gonna, it doesn't look good, Kate. Kate, back out of there and go next to the post where it's higher and get out of there and let me do that so I know what's going on. You okay now, Kate? Let's go back in.
Thank you.
We just have to cut that path on either side.
That would have been really bad if I hit the combine with the power line. Dad just said safety hazard. It definitely is a safety hazard. That was a super low power line.
Just have to cut parallel along that line on either side again. That line's always low there.
Darcy just said that line has always been low.
Especially after we tore it down with the air drills at Darcy. Yeah, it took a few years to put it back up. I'm going to ride around with you, Kate.
I'll do a round. I want to see how low we have to get. There's a lot of soft line on here. What's it beeping at?
Just header height, different moisture sensor issue, left float sensor issue, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, the first 2 passes with Dad, the power line was fine, and then all of a sudden it's about an inch off the ceiling.
Well, you have cut on either side of it.
What was wrong with the header?
The float pressure isn't working. I don't know if this doesn't have the same thing. So.
Oh, for the soft line?
Yeah.
No, it's where it gets bad is over in that corner.
Up on the hill, I didn't see any soft line on the windows. I didn't see soft line until we got back down here.
I didn't either. That was the weirdest thing. Some places there become so many soft line to wipe them off with the windshield wiper. For whatever reason, the return auger seems to be a lot higher at lower speeds than this.
We used to have pickup guards that go on the bottom, scrape along the ground and picks that up.
Really? Now why don't you do that anymore?
Because they're really, really hard to run, and we usually swap first. They're always hitting rocks and breaking and tipping over and drag. They're real hard to run.
This is why we swath the wheat, because as you can see, there is so much laying on the ground because of the sawfly, which are those little bugs on the window. Uncle Chris thinks 30% of our crop is on the ground and we're not able to pick it up. You can see the crop is laying on the ground right there. A quarter of the window is full.
Oh, that's what he's wanting. Yeah. Yeah, that's what he's having trouble with, the distance.
That's low, wow.
You must have hit it the last time.
I don't think I did. I looked out my window and I was about this close. I might have scraped it.
That's really dangerous. Except that's the ground, it's not the hot wire.
Oh, well, that's good.
Don't turn this way after that. Looks like your auger might catch.
Will it be hard to fix the grain cart?
Yeah, it's not real easy. It'll take time. It's not, because the auger has to come out. The gears don't come off very easy because they're all old and rusty in there.
Are those old granaries?
The last thing I had in there was Durham.
Really?
They were all full. Yes, even the one that's fallen down.
That is so cool. Those are the granaries over there behind the grain cart.
Durham over there, that's what they make pasta out of.
Brad, have you dumped yet?
What do you mean by
I'm
leave?
waiting for yours.
What do you mean by leave?
Go put what you got in that cart before I put any more of this in. I mean in that white truck. I bet you what's on the ground costs more than what it would have cost to get it swamped.
Plastic and stapled it up
He took plastic and stapled it up.
and put storage, put Durham in it.
Because those are the kind of ones that they'd use homesteading, aren't they?
Yeah. They weren't old homestead bins. It's better than putting it on the ground, so that was good.
Yes. We're going to do the first dump on the go of the day with the grain cart. This should be interesting.
We had a guy from Brady working for us one time, and I don't care how many times you told him to not engage the header at full throttle, he did it every time.
Really? It's
Yeah.
really hard on things.
Oh, geez. Told him a million times. He was an old farmer, too. He just didn't like to be told what to do. There was some soft lie, but in the center we don't have much soft lie, so that's good. Want to lower the reel a little bit? I raised it up a little bit, so I would have just did the little curvy thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that next time.
Well, it'll be abrupt next time. Could have just followed that around. This is more fun than picking up.
I think so too. I think it's a little more challenging. You get to watch a lot more, so I enjoy it more.
Now I wonder if the guard is missing from that shaft. You see that shaft
Yes.
that you can see turning? I wonder if the guard is broken in the center. Or...
Definitely an issue with soft line.
See, in a swather you might have been able to pick some of that up because the fingers reaches out in front a little bit better.
I think it's harder going from straight cutting headers to pickup headers just because it feels so different than pickup headers to straight cutting headers.
Well, that isn't right.
Brad, I'll them too. That way we got both combines empty. Alright, I'm right behind you.
I thought I turned that down. I did turn that down. 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 How do I get it to stay that? Do I just push the check? Now it's at 900.
That is weird.
See, when you turn it down, it goes to 840. I don't know, but it keeps flashing that 900 thing. 910. I thought it just reset itself after you dialed that.
Try the X button.
830 is fan. 900. I was plowing dirt. 910. Just zooming. Down. 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 Down.
950.
I'll have to stop and have your dad look at it.
So that's our thrashing speed?
Yeah, it's the rotor speed. It's going like zooming like a rocket.
The rotor speed we're having problems turning down, so my dad might have to come and help us. It just is going faster and faster. It was at 850 and then it went to 900 and now 950, and we have been wanting to turn it down.
Mark, the rotor speed was going at 870, so I wanted to turn it down to about 850 or 840. I have it dialed in at 850, but it's flashing 950 at me now, above it.
We gotta press that button and then back it off on that first knob.
I did, and I have it backed off to 840, and it's flashing 950, and it keeps flashing that, and when it goes back, then it shows, the thing shows 950 or 900 now. I wanted to turn it down a little bit to see if I could get the tailings auger. Maybe we were over thrashing a little bit. I should go down a little bit more, but I can't do two things at once. Is it supposed to go back, or do you just leave it and then it sets it, or what does it do?
You press the cogwheel with the arrow and you back it off counterclockwise with the first knob.
I've done that, and it says 840 on it, and then it just keeps flashing this 950 at me.
Well, it somehow got automatically preset or something. I don't know what happened.
Is it that button on there too that would...
The thing is actually going 950.
Well, I can't fix it from in here. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know,
It
you
went-
have to
it went
stop,
down.
read the book, something. I mean, the way you set that is to press the deal and back it off normally.
Yeah, I know you can't fish it in here.
What?
Mine's doing the same thing now.
Ooh.
I have it full of dirt.
There's always trouble with combines.
And I have it dialed down to 690. See, now if you complained about that power pole, that power line, they'd do that. They'd come and put a pole right in the middle of that there, and that might.
So I'll paddle it down, shut the head off, and then adjust the rotor speed.
Okay, I will when I get over here.
And let Kate drive a little bit so she can figure this out too.
Thought if I dialed that down a little bit, we might be thrashing it, going so fast it chops it up into little pieces, and then it has nowhere to go but in the return. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Raise the reel a little bit.
Oh, that's the left button to the side.
See, it's going 950. It shuts it off all right. I should have left well enough alone, I guess.
This is almost doing better bushels per acre than a lot of the winter wheat, but we don't have much of it.
This is summer fallow. He has some continuous crop. It probably won't be as good, but it actually looks fairly good. So.
It does look good. Yeah, recrop is never as good. And that just means you plant your crops one year, harvest them, and then you plant them the exact next year. Usually we do summer fallow, which is a year off between planting your crops, and that just helps keep a lot of the moisture in the ground because we don't have a lot of moisture here in Montana.
See all the dirt in the header?
Dinner is now
There's probably
here,
enough in the combines to fill me.
so I'm super excited. I just set my header
Yeah, why don't
down,
you drive your truck down here?
and I'm going to dinner soon after my combine cools down. Now I'm here at dinner, and it looks super delicious.